Last time, we transformed a mountain into an abandoned iron mine, plus improved some connectivity throughout the island. Today, we're going to finally add buses along with some much needed postal offices. We'll zone it a new area and also add in some farms. As always, we've got a lot of work to do, so let's just jump right into it. Welcome back to Elba, Italy. Before we continue, let's quickly review our current set of services, primarily the ones that need our attention today. First up, we have our road maintenance, and this is non-existent. Our road condition is just awful, and the only roads that are in decent shape are the ones we've recently placed. If I recall correctly, road maintenance does have an effect on the amount of accidents that happen. I'd love to get a building in to help solve this, but it's just not something we can afford right now. Next up, electricity. And we've been holding on strong for 6 episodes with just a single wind turbine. And that's been great for now, but we seriously need to make some improvements either this episode or the next. This won't sustain us much longer, and as you can see, we just have the smallest bit of wiggle room, and we need to improve that soon. Next up, we have water and sewage. In terms of our water availability, we're doing completely fine. We have tons of room to continue growing our island, and it's similar to sewage treatment as well. Honestly, I thought we would have had a water treatment plant by now, but what do you know? Growing an island's population is much more difficult than it looks. I really want to get rid of that sewage outlet pipe because it's starting to make a noticeable impact on our water, and it's hurting my soul just a bit. Next up, healthcare and death care. Right now we only have 19 sick or injured people, which is perfectly acceptable. We have a capacity for 175 given our current setup. Our average health is 58%, and that's not amazing. Something I'll definitely want to improve in the near future, either by improved connectivity or improved access to medical facilities. Then we have our death care, so our crematoriums and our cemeteries. Right now we have 56 deaths per month and a handling capacity of 96 per month, but we only have one crematorium building on the entire map so far, and those hearses have to drive a long way. I imagine this problem will get out of hand quicker than I realize, but for today, with our current budget, this isn't something we're going to touch. Then we have our police. We have 1 arrested criminal with a jail capacity of 25, yet somehow we have 61 criminals in jail. The numbers aren't numbering. Either way, we only have 1 police station, and you can tell that our coverage is just awful. In fact, one of the easiest ways to fix this is to assign districts to our services, because right now, we have police cars traveling all the way to our abandoned iron mine, and that's just not ideal. But also, we'll definitely need to add another building in. Then last but not least, we have our postal service. Right now, we have a mail rate of 9,000 per month, and we are processing absolutely nothing. Our coverage is just awful. Not a single piece of mail has ever been delivered in this entire island once. So this is something that we can easily solve, and for relatively cheap. I imagine 2 post offices in each of our main areas. Okay, now I think the most important one to start with is our buses. So we'll need to find a place to put our bus depot down, and this is a pretty big building. Also, we'll need to find a good place for it centrally as well, because it has to be able to serve all of our bus routes very easily without having to traverse half the map. The only area that I can see fulfilling this as of right now is right beside a recycling center. It's going to be the best area, and for the most part, it's already prepped and ready to be developed. So we could place this right about here. We do have a bunch of terrain to contend with, and I want to be careful as well because I don't want to load directly onto our road if we can help it. This will be sending out a lot of traffic, so the answer would probably be to put it somewhere right about here, then have a road come from either behind the recycling center or from the kind of Spruce Lane, just up and into the bus depot. So let's start by placing our roads, and I'm a bit scared right now because I have a feeling that the terrain is probably going to be a bit insane, and we're going to start by grabbing our road up here and just bringing it in, but we'll actually need to do just a little bit of grading first. So let's take this all the way down to 30, and then just kind of move it over a bit. We need this so that constant slope can actually work. Now we'll send this up, and actually we'll use the curved road tool, and we'll just send this up. Yeah, and that's 14.6. And we could do a lot of fancy work here to make this better. We could go to the right, we can go to the left, we could do a switchback. But for the bus, I'm just not sure that this makes sense. So let's try and come from this side instead. And what we'll do is we'll just send this all the way up and then all the way around. And that's not a beautiful connection by any means, but it should work. If we need to, we can just kind of align it using move it, but I don't want to get too into the weeds right now. let's actually just grab our bus depot. And yeah, I think this is where it has to go. Really, no matter what we do, it's going to be a difficult spot to work with. This entire map is going to be a difficult spot to work with. But I don't want to just set it kind of like this, because then what's going to happen is it's going to raise that entire side of the train all the way up, and it's going to be a bit rough. So really the best way is just to align it right about here. And then we're going to have to fix this up a bit because right now it's looking really rough on both sides. So we're just going to pull this out just a tiny bit. And then we're going to do just a tiny touch of smoothing. I don't want to smooth this, but I want it to look natural. Not like a building which just plopped down and all of a sudden the magic raised the earth. So just a tiny touch of it will kind of help with that. And then on the left side of the building, it's really rough. It's going to take a lot more work. We're going to have to blast into this pretty heavily. And I'm wondering, how bad is the slope here? Like if you're a bus coming out, okay, it's not awful, but it's not great either. But really, we're just going to work with what we got. We can't really do too much. We can definitely kind of make this area look prettier, but it won't function any better. So let's just add our road back and make sure this connection is in. And it's funny, I didn't even realize how much that immediately put us in the red. We'll shut this building off, probably. Depends on how fast we can get our bus routes in. I just want to add some trees around this area though to make it feel a bit more natural. At the end of the series, I'm going to go through and I'm going to personally hand plop every single tree using the line tool and the offset. I always love to do that because it just feels so much more real. When I plop them like this, it kind of feels forced and fake. But I'm not worried about it right now. I want to make sure we're moving forward. I don't want to get stuck on one single thing. And then I just blasted behind our recycling center as well, just to add a bit more space. I mean, why not? If we're going to do it in the first place, we might as well just get it in. And this will serve us in the future as potential bus depot upgrades or recycling center upgrades. Just want to make sure we have that space. It's definitely a bit jarring, but it's not a big deal. For our bus station, I'm not sure if we're actually going to place a bus station. So we have two main cities, right? And 2571. So our total population is 5,090. They're roughly equal in terms of population, which means that I don't think either one of them should really have a bus station. What I think we'll do is we'll put in integrated bus stops and we'll make kind of like a single road that'll go in with a cul-de-sac or a roundabout, and that'll serve as our bus station mostly. This is just because we couldn't afford a bus station even if we wanted to have one. Okay, and so we're going to start with our inner city connections first. And these bus routes won't be the best or the most perfect bus routes ever. These are probably going to be very limited, very simple to start off with. And as we expand our revenue and our tax income, then we can worry about adding a proper bus route. But for now, I do just want to get something in. I think we'll have three main routes, and we're going to start with Port Carino. As you can tell, it's kind of doing this lame thing where it removes the grass and the trees, especially in the middle too. It doesn't make sense. There is a way to fix this though. All we're going to do is turn on anarchy and just place it slightly off to the side. The buses will still function. Right here though, I'm thinking the traffic is coming in here. So maybe we're going to bog this down by having a bus stop so close. I do want one somewhere around here, just probably not right into the entrance of our city. Let's go with somewhere right about here. And as we're coming up, we'll probably make a stop right here at this path. Then let's go around and actually let's go into our vineyard because, I mean, why not? I'm not entirely sure if this would be realistic because we're going into a commercial property. This would probably be privately owned, but we'll call it realistic for tourism's sake. And then we'll place one right here in front of our Oasis kitchen. And this is a pretty big, dense building, and there's a lot of big uses around here. So I think we'll place one there too. Right here is kind of like our historic arts building, so we definitely want one here. This would be great for tourism or great for just the public coming to spend time doing anything else other than working. We'll also place one right around the corner, and I was thinking we could come into this custom alleyway, but the more I think about it, the more it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. We want to come up and around, place one right about here, and then essentially, we're not going to add in any more. This is pretty much it. Now we're just going to connect all of our routes together. And I know what you're thinking, this is a pretty lame bus route, but this is a small island. We barely have any money. In fact, we're bleeding money right now. We're trying to keep this maintainable and sustainable, so we're not adding anything crazy. Now let's just change the name to Porto Carino or Port Carino. I'm not sure if the port would be pronounced different or even if I'm pronouncing Carino right. If I'm not, feel free to scold me in the comments. Then we'll just change this to yellow because I don't know why, but yellow feels right. Okay, now for over here, our buses will come from our depot. They'll come along this road. I want to be pretty careful with our stops here because we could really bog down this road very heavily. And actually, I'm thinking, why not right here? It's obviously not the most ideal place for a stop, but given this is our main road, I think it's a pretty smart place to have a stop. Then we'll just continue down our road. And actually, yeah, I think we're going to turn right as soon as possible because this road would get bogged down pretty heavily, specifically going into the city, not out of it. So let's put one right about here. And I'm sure these people would just be absolutely thrilled to have a bus stop in front of their property. Maybe they would. Maybe there's a difference in culture. Then we'll have another one right there. And that's a bit close, but maybe we'll add one right here in front of our offices. Then let's turn the corner now. Let's have one right in front of this commercial store right here. As we're coming down, this would be a perfect place to have one. So we'll come along here, we'll come around. We'll probably have one right here. And then we're going to continue onwards and maybe right in front of this property right here. And then we'll come all the way around. And honestly, I almost feel like we should be serving this entire area, but I'm trying to remember the plot here. The plot is that we are not rich by any means, and serving this entire area would just be very difficult here. And then again, we have dense uses, so let's place one here as well. And as we come towards here, we have a nice little open space with a path, so we'll put one there as well. We have offices right here, so we'll definitely want one. We have our schools right here, so we'll place one down. And then the bus travels down this road pretty much. And what happens? Does it just take a left into this gas station? I really don't like the idea of that. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. We're essentially turning this gas station into a bus stop. So maybe it continues down and, oh, it goes into our dairy house. That's actually a really good use. We can place one right in front of here. And then we travel down, we turn right onto this road. And again, we're bogging up this road just a bit. We stop into our gas station and that is pretty much it. That is the route. Again, it's not meant to be the ultimate bus route. It's just meant to be a very basic route. It might get improved over time. I don't know. Typically, these islands like this just don't have amazing bus coverage. They might have some, but they're not going to have amazing bus coverage, especially towards our low density uses. It just doesn't make sense. You're probably just going to walk. And did I place this bus stop on the wrong side? All right, now let's open up a transportation menu. And then we're just going to click on our route and we're going to take these buses down and the ticket price down. So all inner city buses will be a maximum of $2 and all assigned vehicles will be about 2 unless we have a higher demand for them. Really want to keep costs low here and not accelerate them. For the name, this is a tricky one for me because we have so many different districts here. I guess we could call it something like the mainland connector, but this isn't even actually connecting to the mainland. So I don't really know. I think the mainland connector will do for now. Okay, so those are our 2 inner city routes, but we still need one that connects both areas up together. And I think the way to do this is to draw an alleyway somewhere along here, and then we will just add in a bus stop. It'll kind of be like a miniature bus station. And I think right here, right beside our hotel, right beside our vineyard, and kind of right beside our beach will be a pretty great spot to add this in. And then I have a lot of little plants and decals to delete, so 1 second. And then I'm just going to add bus stops, probably on both sides. We're probably only going to utilize one for now, but we'll have them just in case in the future. And I think we'll actually take this stop right here and just send it in. Although that kind of makes this stop redundant and that one has the path. Yeah, so this is more of a transfer opportunity. You'll walk from this little path right here or wherever you get off in the bus into there. And now we're going to go do the one over here. And there's definitely lots of different locations that we could add this in. But I think there's only one spot that makes sense, and that's right about here. And then all that's left to do is just add in our connection. So we'll grab this point, and then we'll send it all the way over to this point right here. And then we'll send it all the way back. Now let's just give it a name and also reduce the buses. I imagine it's probably going to send like 4 or 5 buses, and it's probably not going to be utilized. So Oh wow, it's actually a little bit shorter than I thought. So it only gave 3 buses. We'll still take that down to 2, or now, there we go, now it's 4. We'll still take that down to 2. And then we'll just call it mainland to Port Carino. I guess that should do. I don't know, I'm not in love with these bus names, but honestly, it's such a small detail that doesn't even matter. Then I changed all of the assigned vehicles to 2. I also reduced all the ticket prices to $2 as well. And with that, let's move on to our next service. So we're going to add 2 post offices, one in Port Carino and one in the other area, which I guess I'm now calling the other area. I would love to use this big modern post office asset, but honestly, it's just not, it's too big. It's too big. So we're going to use a small post office. I'm going to place it right about here. And that's pretty much it for this one. This one's pretty easy. And to make our service more efficient, I don't want it to operate anywhere other than Port Carino and maybe Magnolia Farms, and I guess a telecom tower, although I don't even know if that'll get used or not. And now we just have to place our mailboxes in. So we're going to spread our mailboxes out fairly far apart. We're going to try and serve our most dense uses with a limit to our low residential uses. And that is it. That is it for Port Carino. So now let's move over to our other area. Looks like we have a traffic jam right here. So I'm just going to quickly do some traffic control. So we'll remove unsafe and we'll also set priority for the road. Now I've thought about a few different places to put the post office, but really this area right here is going to be central. Unfortunately, we're going to have to bulldoze some homes. So I'm sorry homes and I'm sorry trees, but we can make this little plaza if that makes up for it, which I'm sure it won't for the people who live here. And I'm going to have it front this alleyway instead of Empire Street, just to keep the traffic off of Empire Street. And then same as Port Carino, we're going to serve our most dense uses the best, and then our low residential uses not so much, but still enough. And then I moved over these houses just a bit because I want to add in a path here. And the reason I do that is because it'd give access to the bus stop and it'd give access to the mailbox. Okay, so let's take a quick look and see what we covered. And yeah, we covered a really good portion of the map. Of course, there's still some areas like Ashland Farms that just doesn't get any coverage. And unfortunately, it does suck to suck. They're too far away and there's not much we can do about it. But I do want to fix this up just a tiny bit because before we continue, we need to assign districts. I don't want this post office to essentially operate in any other areas other than these. Maybe the dairy farm and maybe the recycling center. So let's get this district fixed up as well. And then we'll just extend Emerald Grove to the dairy farm and probably even a bit further. Okay, now with our post office done, let's move on to our next service. And that's going to be police. So yeah, we can tell that Port Carino has essentially no coverage. It's honestly a bit rough and we need to fix the district so we don't have police cars going to our abandoned mine. Okay, now that was the easy part. The hard part is figuring out where we're going to fit a police station. Honestly, I would really like to go with the Mediterranean police station. It's so nice and it has those pink trees, which I just love. But the question is where? Where does it go? And I've thought about this pretty long, and I think this is actually going to be the best spot. If I had to guess, it's not going to be a very popular decision among everyone, but I think it's going to look really nice, and it's going to give this area a specific feeling that I really want to go after. I know this was primarily a farm area before, and that we have the resources here to have farm areas, but I'm just going to do it. And now I'm wondering, how does this feel from far away? Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. It could almost be passable as a city hall. The upgrade itself removes the trees, which I don't care for, so I'm not going to add it in. Plus, I don't think we could afford the maintenance anyways. I have a feeling that we're going to be going into the red very, very soon. Somehow we're in the positive. I don't know how I missed that, but somehow we are. Oh wait, what? The upgrade adds 20 patrol cars? That's actually kind of insane, and only for an upkeep of 18,000 per month? That's a pretty solid upgrade. I'm tempted to place it in, but also at the same time, I'm still not going to because I like the way the building looks right now. And we need to add in some form of parking here. This asset comes with essentially none, or yeah, it comes with none. and I don't really think these parking lot assets are going to fit. So we'll probably have to make our own custom one. And to do that, we'll probably send an alleyway around the building. Now let's just use this double wide parking asset. We'll use move it and we'll pull them tight together. Then we'll probably just send an invisible road through the back of it so it has connection. And then let's just detail this. Let's make this a little bit more rough, a bit more lived in. And then finally, let's just assign the districts. So I only want to operate in Port Carino, Magnolia Farms, and I think that's it. Now for our next service, it's actually just me fixing a mistake. I don't know how I didn't realize this, but we should definitely set up an external connection. So we'll probably just send it from right here all the way to the external connection and then right back in. Now let's quickly fix up this line. So right now it says 0 buses, and yeah, it's 7. 7 is insane. Let's take that down to 3. And we're not going to change the ticket price just because if you're leaving the city or coming in the city, or I guess the entire island as a whole, you're paying us the big bucks, and the big bucks is $8. Now that's all of our services for today, but I want to fix up this lot right here, and then I want to go build out a new area because we need to pay for these services. Right now we're at $4,281 loss every single hour, and that's going to eat us alive. I'm hoping this new town can kind of make up for that. All right, and this area is done. It looks lived in, but also kind of nice at the same time, a mix of the both. I'm noticing that the parking lot decals are disappearing, and for some reason Move It won't let me select them, even if I deselect everything except for buildings. Maybe a bug or something that I'm unaware of. I think I'm just gonna move on for now, and if I need to, I can just fix it after. Also, no idea how I forgot, but clearly these aren't connected, so they're not gonna work. So we're going to add in an invisible path or an invisible road and just try and get this to work. And I don't know why, but I could not get this connected. Maybe it is connected and I just can't tell. But either way, this gives me a better idea. Let's just add in some police cars around here anyways, because right now, where are all our police cars hanging out? I don't know, maybe a garage underground or something. I can't see them. So I think this will make it look just a little bit more real. All right, and we'll leave one spot open because why not? Maybe that police car is on duty or something. And now let's go zone out our new area. So there's 3 separate areas right here. And first, let's create a district around them because it'll help to have them separated. All right, now with 3 new districts, we need 3 new names. And that actually reminds me, we did get a name for the abandoned iron mine. So MAEUCH8944, they want to be a geologist in 1 to 2 years. They love seeing mines, ores, mine vehicles, etc. And they think that the road leading to the mine could be named Pyrite Rich. Essentially, it comes from the pyrite deposits. There are more ores, but it's the best in their opinion. And they actually exist in Elba. So let's get this road renamed, and right now it's Pine Lane, and we'll change it to Pyrite Rich. And as a spin on that, I have an idea, but first let's give this area a district. And the road is called Pyrite Ridge, so let's name this entire district Pyrite Ridge. I like it. I like it. They go together very well. Okay, so what I'll be temporarily calling Thornton until we get a better name for it. We're going to start with our farms. We have lots of farm area here, and I want to make sure we're using it. So let's just check it out. Yeah, we can tell that we have a bunch of fertile land right there and pretty much everywhere. I need to rethink this road layout though, because this just isn't going to work. We'll probably have to do this for the other side as well. So let's get some of these roads destroyed. And now let's just place a few farms in. And as the highway enters this town, we'll convert back to our Elba 2-lane road, but we want to start here right where these two highways intersect, and then we'll connect right where this road intersects. Now I want this area to feel a bit different than everything else, and because of that, I'm just going to only use the southwestern low density housing. We'll probably only use level 1 because I feel like level 5 is going to look too fancy. I imagine this area was where the people who got rich off the iron mine came to settle down, or maybe this is where the people who had, I don't know, really nice farms came to settle down. There's probably going to be a port in this area soon, so that could probably help sell the narrative that they were rich. And really, there's only 3 assets if we only use level 1 or 2. Let me take a look at this level 5. And yeah, that just feels way too North American. I just don't see it working. Same with that one. This one, I could almost see working. We'd have to be very limited on how many we place, but I think it could work. I think it could suit the Elba kind of feeling. Okay, now I'm going to take a quick break from plopping to add in some more farms. And you can tell we have a very good amount of fertile land here, but we're definitely going to have to break up our road network. And then if we just send a road right up here, I know we can get one more farm in. And then let's just finish up our plopping. For right here, I want to add in some commercial. For right here, I want there to be a park. For our commercial, we're just going to go with the world's safest asset, which is just a level 1 or level 2 southwestern commercial building. We'll probably go for the ones that don't have parking because this community would be pretty tight knit. We could probably squeeze a few more buildings right here. Definitely some more commercial. This time it's the Japanese pack, and then this one is the northeastern pack. And the more I look at this, the more I think we could definitely add more farms, at least one more right there. We could even send them up these kind of veins, but I'm not going to right now. And then over here, this is our highway, so we can't access that one. This has really strong farm potential though. Clearly it's green, it means it's very, very fertile, and it makes sense to add it in. The only thing that worries me is the farm is a pretty big building in comparison. Oh, never mind, this is perfectly fine. For some reason I was thinking the farm building was way bigger than this. I guess it's kind of hard to judge when you have this overview up. So we'll add 2 extra farms. Now I'd like to see some sort of road in between these two, and I just don't want to use a dirt road. I find it to be a bit boring. So we're going to use our sand surface and we're just going to make our own. And then using our 25% black, we're just going to do a bucket over it. And I think this is going to make it look so much nicer. Yes, that looks so much nicer. It doesn't look so bright and in your face. Now for detailing, I want to keep this extremely laser focused. We're going to darken some of our farm surfaces to make them feel different. Similar to the darkened sand surface, it's not so in your face. We'll recolor all of the houses to have a terracotta roof and white siding. We'll blast this area with trees, and we'll build it our tiny little park. And why do I always forget that doing this takes so much money? We are just burning through our cash. So I'm going to take a small break and build at our park just to make sure we still have enough money to actually build it. I'm worried that we'd just spend all of our money. I could use one of these bigger assets, but I think we're probably just going to mash a bunch of different pocket parks together, and then we'll kind of delete all the surfaces and make this feel a bit more unique and custom. All right, and that was my take at speed detailing. I tried not to move the camera. That way you can kind of see what I was doing. Now, that is looking pretty good. I love the way it feels. Definitely feels unique and different from everything else that I've done so far. All right, and that is everything. This area is looking pretty good. There's a few spots that, I'd love to fill in if we had more money. Once we do have more money, I really want to go and take my time and just place these trees very carefully. Right now, I just kind of blast them in because it kind of makes me feel better about all of the spots that just don't really make sense yet. But when we have a bunch of money and when it's towards the end of the competition, I can't wait to come through here and just really put much more thought and care and effort into each of these tree placements. Then finally, to wrap things up, I've just come over here to our little kind of bus stop roundabout type thing and just added some trees, gave it a nice little surface, tried to pretty it up a bit because right now the edge of this just looks a bit rough. And with these trees, it does feel nicer. Although I do want to swap these for some smaller oaks because when they're too big, it kind of just overpowers the area. There we go. That's much, much better. I love the way that these look together. They complement each other so well. The way they work together. Maybe it's just the trees that I'm talking about at this point in time, but I feel like both Thornton and the abandoned iron mine just work so cohesively together. Finally, I touched up this area a bit, and honestly, it's all thanks to one amazing comment from BYWDM. They said they need to be darker, less saturated. Maybe try adding that 10% black you added to some of your agriculture farms. Love the idea. It worked so well. It came out so much better. And I'm getting really close to my favorite part of builds, where you have all these separate communities and they're slowly coming together. Once we build out on the hills towards the top of the island, then this will definitely feel even that much better. But even this little addition right here just made it so much better. These are the hills that I'm talking about though, these ones right here. When we build out on these, it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be really, really challenging, don't get me wrong, but it will be a lot of fun. And before we ended it off, I just wanted to see, are we in the green? And we are at $3,490 per hour. Somehow that little town oh, never mind. We're back in the red. I was going to say somehow Thornton saved us, but no, it looks like it's getting worse. And oh, okay, we're back in the green again. I can live with that. If it honestly just stays right there and doesn't move, we can live with that. We can start making some money and never mind. Okay, and with that, that is a wrap. I had a lot of fun building out Thornton. I had a lot of fun placing all these services. I really, really like the additions that were made in this episode, and I hope you did too. If you did, please feel free to like, subscribe, and comment. It really does help with the algorithm, which helps with the channel. I'll see you in the next one.